Very good evening and welcome back to the another live session of CIT and NCERT. I'm Shilpa. In today's session, we will understand how to use Google Hangout Meet for education. And we have Miss Rupali Arora, PGT from Sanskriti School, New Delhi. I welcome you, Miss Arora. Before we proceed, I would like to inform our viewers if you come across any questions related to our topic of discussion, then you can call on our toll free numbers. Numbers are 1800 and 1800 Also, you can send your questions to our official email ID ciet.kishormanch@gmail.com. Moreover, you can comment your question during our YouTube live streaming, which is happening now, and our official YouTube channel is NCERT Official. Miss Rupali, can you hear us? Miss Rupali, can you hear us? I think we are not able to connect her. And meanwhile, you can also watch our session on GeoTV app and also on Kishore Manch app. Miss Rupali, can you hear us? So we will try again to connect with her and we will be back. Yes, Shanu. I hope it's not going live stream. Okay, good. Very good evening and welcome back to the another live session of CIT NCERT. I'm Shilpa. In today's session, we will understand how to use Google Hangout Meet for education. And we have Miss Rupali Arora, PGT from Sanskriti School, New Delhi. I welcome you, Miss Arora.
Thank you for the welcome.
So before we proceed, I would like to inform our viewers, if you come across any questions or suggestions related to our today's topic of discussion, then you can call on our toll-free numbers. Numbers are 1800 and 1800 Also, you can send your question on our official email ID ciet.kishormanch@gmail.com. Moreover, you can comment your questions during our YouTube live streaming, which is happening now, and our official YouTube channel is NCERT Official. So, Ms. Rupali, do tell us briefly what you will be teaching us today.
Of course. Today we'll be learning about Google Hangouts Meet for Education, and we know that we are very much aware that in this COVID-19 pandemic situation, schools are shut down. And in this situation, it is very important that we continue the teaching and learning process. And Google Hangouts Meet for Education will help us in continuing and enabling the entire process of teaching and learning through a video meeting setup, which is available by Google. So today, I will be telling you in this session about ABC of all the steps that are required for conducting a video meeting, a virtual classroom wherein teachers can, easily communicate with their students on a daily basis in a more efficient manner. So, first and foremost requirement of using Google Education is that over here for Google Meet is that you need to have a G Suite for Education account. Now, what is G Suite for Education? This we need to be familiar with. G Suite for Education is nothing but a suite of all different kinds of tools and services which are freely provided by Google in order to undertake the classroom at a virtual level. So we need to know that how we can manage our classroom virtually using G Suite for Education. G Suite for Education is free and it has to be through the school itself. So any teacher, any student can have a G Suite for Education account if the school signs up with Google, and you just need to submit an application through which you can get access to G Suite for Education account. And this is very essential that when we are looking for these benefits, the organization needs to be government recognized. The organization should be not-for-profit organization. Then only you will be given G Suite for Education account. As you can see on screen that there are so many different apps which are available through G Suite for Education account. Like for instance, any kind of communication can be done through Google Classroom. And in Google Classroom, you can access a whole lot of Google apps which can actually help the teachers to connect with their students. So if we have this G Suite for Education account, it is very easy for the teachers to manage their classroom and students to keep track of their work, because we can easily collaborate using these Google apps on which the students and teachers can comment on the work which is done by them, and they are easily shareable. You can share and collaborate on the same document again in real time. And one thing is very, very interesting here. No need to save, because every time we tend to, get worked up. Oh, I haven't saved the information. Or where would that information would have gone? And sometimes we feel that, okay, I was working on this desktop, and so can I access that desktop to continue my work? All that is not needed in Google Apps. So here in G Suite for Education account, if you have this account, you can easily work in collaboration with your students and your departmental teachers, and everything is automatically saved. So we don't have to worry about where your work has gone. So this is the beauty of Google, Suite for Education, wherein access is very, very easy. No matter where you are, no matter which part of the world you are sitting in, And no matter which device you're working on, what you need is just a G Suite for Education account. If you have that, you have the magic with you, and that magic is nothing but can be accessible if you all are aware. Where are these tools? Where to find these tools? These tools are nothing but in your G Suite for Education account in this Google app grid. So we have this 9 dots. If you click on it, you will get access to a whole lot of Google apps which are magical, wherein you can easily collaborate with your students. And one of the apps in this magical Google app grid is the topic of discussion today in this session, which is Google Hangouts Meet. So if I start with the introduction for what is Google Meet, and you know that Google updates very frequently. Google is working towards, bringing in new updates every day. And the recent thing is that they've rebranded their Google Hangouts Meet and they have called it as Google Meet. So now this entire Google Meet helps the teachers to connect with their students in real time. Teachers can actually create their virtual classrooms using Google Meet, and with a click of a button, they can just click on the link, and similarly, the students will also click on the links while sitting at their own safe homes, wherein we don't need to worry about this pandemic. You can continue your virtual classroom setup using Google Meet. So coming to the requirements. Now, there are certain requirements of using Google Meet. As I said, first and foremost requirement is that you need to sign in into a G Suite for Education account. You cannot access Google Meet creation, through your personal Gmail. You can access it only through a G Suite for Education account. If you have a personal Gmail, then you can join a meet, but you cannot create a meet. So for creation power, you need to have a G Suite for Education account. And there are certain supported operating systems, like for instance, you have Microsoft Windows, or you have, say, Apple device with you. A phone would do. You can access it on your phone. So it's very simple for teachers as well, that if you want to teach and you're on the go, you can easily pick up your mobile phone and start a Google Meet. Or it could be that you have a Chromebook with you. All these operating systems are supported for using Google Meet. Then you have your web browsers. Similarly, in these operating systems, there are web browsers available. Like for instance, for Microsoft, you have Microsoft Edge. Then you have, say, for Apple, you have Safari. You can easily use Google Meet through that. Or for a Chromebook, you have web browser of Chrome, or you can have Mozilla Firefox. All these things can be easily supported for using Google Meet. And if you have these things with you, just allow Meet to access your camera and microphone and just start your video meeting with your students. And you can reach out as a teacher to all your students, no matter where they are staying, and start your teaching learning process. So let's learn how to start a new meeting. Now, in order to start a new video meeting, there are 4 options. There are 4 ways in which you can start a new meeting. First and foremost is with Google Calendar. As you can see the snapshot also here on the screen. If I say Google Calendar, again, Google Calendar, where is it found? It is found in the magical 9 app Google grid. So when you have the Google app grid, in that only you can access Google Calendar, and over there, simply by creating an event, you can start Google Meet. Or you can also look at the Meet option in Gmail. Simply open up your G Suite for Education account, and on the left-hand side of your inbox, you can easily see Meet option. So Meet option is there from where you can start the video meeting. Simple steps, just click it and you are in for joining a meeting. Similarly, you can also start a video meeting from a URL. So meet.google.com. If you just type in there in Google search URL, you can easily start a meet. Similarly, you can also, like as a teacher, it's always advisable that as a teacher, you can start a Google Meet in Google Classroom. So instead of going here and there, one thing that a teacher should look for is a Google Classroom wherein they can easily go and generate a Meet link. So for that, I would like to show you a particular video in which you will see how to create a Meet link by all of these 4 methods. And in a demo, I would like to show you through Google Classroom. So let's see and enjoy the video.
Once your admin sets up Google Meet for your school or organization, starting a virtual meeting or online video lesson is easy. To start an instant meeting in a web browser, just go to meet.google.com and click Join or Start a Meeting. To add someone to a meeting, you can copy and paste the meeting details into an email or another application. Or click Add People and choose from the available options. And if someone sends you a meeting link, simply click the link to join the call. Additionally, you can start a virtual class or meeting from Google Classroom. Once you enable Google Meet in the settings, a unique meeting link for your class is created. You can share the link with students so they can join the meeting, or they can click the link in Classroom. Go to meet.google.com or classroom.google.com and get started today.
So you can see that how it is so easy. Google apps are user-friendly. They are so easy, and with a click of a button, you can actually enjoy the benefits of all these Google apps. And for conducting a video meeting, let me take you to my Google Classroom. This is one demo Google Classroom, and I've named it as Teacher's Classroom. And for this demo, I will be having few more, you can say, demo students out here as well. So let me give you a feel of Google Classroom that I have created for you all. So simple steps, as you have seen in the video, you can just open up your Google Classroom and hit the settings. This is a gear icon which you have to click. When you click on the settings, there is an option wherein you can see that Meet link has been created. As you can see the Meet link, I just need to keep this slider to the right and make my Meet link visible to the students. Moment I do that, I just need to save these settings, and within few seconds, you will see that on my Google Classroom banner here on the header, link has been generated. So now what you have to do is, now the same link would be visible on students' Google Classroom, and it is visible to me as well. So I will click right in front of you and join Meet. So let's have a feel of Google Meet right in front of you. Moment I hit the entire Google Meet link, this is the window that pops up, and you can see that without even entering into the class Meet, I can have options over my microphone and video. So before joining the live class with my students, I can actually first mute myself, or I can put my video off before I enter. But let's do that. Let me keep my microphone off because I'm already in a Zoom session. So if I switch on the Meet session, then it will lead to a lot of echo. So I'm just keeping my Meet option off at the moment, and I'll demonstrate the entire live session with my students. So let's join. And here we go. Here, this is my live classroom, and I would like to ask my students that they should also join. So I've sent a message in my Google Classroom that join this live session. So I can see over here that this is the class and my student has arrived. I have 2 students for my demo. One is Sangeeta Gulati ma'am, who is HOD Mathematics in Sanskriti School, and another one is Ms. Sanchita Ghosh, who is HOD History in Sanskriti School. So 3 of us are Techno at Heart team of Sanskriti School. And if I present over here, the entire screen to everybody, one thing that I can showcase is Google has given us an option for changing the layout. And if I make it tiled, then I can see all my students on one screen. And if I go and include myself in the grid, and here I am. So I can see that the teacher is there in the virtual classroom with the students who are ready to learn. And this demo will help you how I will teach my students right in front of you all using some kind of Google app. Okay, so let's start with this demonstration. So first and foremost, I would like to familiarize you all with some settings which are there in Google Classroom. So let me show you that. Look at that. My students have entered and I will give them tasks. And before giving them tasks, I will show you what all are the things which are available for the teacher to do in Google Meet. In Google Meet, you can change the layout. You can present to your students. You can present in front of the students so that students can see what you're teaching. If you do not present, then your video will be shown to the students. So it's not necessary that you have to prepare something to meet your children. If you are a teacher who is so good at storytelling, just go ahead. Just switch on the Google Meet and start telling the stories, show your face to your students. Students will enjoy your teaching through that way. But if you don't want to show your face and still you want to continue the teaching learning process, then the simple thing is to present during the video meeting, and you can present the screen and teach. So you would be audible to the students, and like the way at this time also I'm showing my screen and I'm speaking. Similarly, in Google Meet, I would be showcasing my entire lesson and I would be talking about it. And I have an option to record the meeting as well. So let's get into all these kinds of things in real time. Let me show you the class that I had joined in right now in Google Meet. And here I'll showcase the different kinds of tools which are there in front of you. So let's see over here. There is this bar. When I click in the center, this white bar comes up. In this, there is an option wherein you can see the details of the meet. You can use this link to share it with other people as well if you want them to join. And you can also get access to the attachments. What are these attachments? These attachments could be the recording, the chats, because when we are doing a live session, then and if a teacher starts to record this entire session, then the recording of the session would automatically come in these attachments. So we can get access to the details and the attachments here. Then if you move ahead, there is an option for turning your microphone off or on, which I'm going to be putting it off at the moment. Then there is an option to leave call, which I'm not intending to at the moment. Then there is an option for turning off or on your camera. So your camera settings can be clicked here. Then there is an option for turning on the captions. So if I just click on turn on captions, no matter what I'm speaking will showcase on my window. So over here, if I turn on the captions can be turned on and whatever I speak will come on the window. This could be a feature which you have already seen in YouTube, wherein if you turn on the captions, whatever is being spoken in the video, that shows up at the bottom of the screen. Then you have an option to present now. So if I click on present now, there are three options. These three options are your entire screen. So if you click on your entire screen, then no matter what you're opening in your laptop, that would be shown, that would be visible to the students. But if you don't want to do that, you can also present a window. So if I present a window, then only the window wherein I'm working on, where my meet is on, only that window will be visible to the students. But if I hit Control N and open a new window, then that window won't be visible to the students. And there is a third option as well for presenting, which is a Chrome tab. Now a Chrome tab is very, very essential and useful feature that is given by Google Meet, wherein you use this Chrome tab for, just running your videos and animations. So what happens is when you switch on a video for your students, best way to present the screen is through this Chrome tab. So if I click on Chrome tab, then I will be taken to a particular tab, which is wherein I have the video. I'll play it and I can keep my mic off. So if I keep my mic off, the background noise in my entire house won't be heard by the students. So only the tab sound would be there, and it will help us, play the videos very, very efficiently without any background noise. So I can do that. And then to the right of present now, there are 3 dots. If I click on these 3 dots, these are more options. So when I see these more options, I have an option to record the meeting. So if I click on record meeting, it asks for a consent. That recording a meeting without the consent of all participants may be illegal. So after taking the consent from everyone who has joined your live session, you just click accept. Okay, so Techno Ad Heart team, I'm asking for consent from you and accepting. Okay, so after the consent that I've got, I've started recording it, and on the left hand side you will see this recording will start soon. Yes, and it is a red button with a white dot, and the recording is on. Now this recording, I can stop it anytime I wish, or at the end of the lesson I can stop it. And when I stop it, then automatically this recording gets stored in my Google Drive. So the teacher has full control over the class because the teacher has started the session and the teacher has recorded it, and the teacher will get the recording in Google Drive automatically. So the beauty of Google Meet is that no matter what you record, all the recordings would get stored automatically in a folder called Meet Recordings in your Google Drive automatically. So it's saved in the cloud, so there is no problem in terms of the space in your own laptop, in your own gadget. You don't have problem related to space. So here it's everything available. And one very, very important feature of G Suite for Education account is that I have unlimited space in my account. So no matter how many Meet recordings get stored in the cloud, I can access them anytime, anywhere, on any device. So that's how we will access these recordings. So if I stop the recording here, it will automatically go into my Google Drive. Then there is an option for changing the layout. If I click on change layout, these are the options that opens up. There is an auto option. Now this auto option says that let Meet, be allowed to do the setting the way Meet wants. So Google Meet will have its own settings in auto layout. Whereas if I click on sidebar, then all my entire settings would be such a way that the teacher would come in the center and the students would go in the sidebar on the right hand side. So that's the sidebar option. Then if I go on to change it to say spotlight, then whosoever is the speaker would be shown, and eventually you will see that this spotlight will help the students to focus in the classroom. And then the latest feature that has been given in the latest update by Google, which is tiled. You can have students tiled, all of them, in my Google Classroom and in my Google Meet, wherein I can look at their faces and converse. So this is how, you can have different ways of chatting with your students in the classroom. And if you don't want to chat, you can simply, start your lesson by presenting the screen. So if I click on your entire screen, then I will, no matter what I want to share, I will share it to my students. So again, it says you are presenting your screen. And if I want to share my lesson in Google Classroom, I can share that through this platform. So I've entered the live session in Google Meet, and I'm teaching my students by showcasing, say, some slide in my classroom or some kind of a work in my classroom, and all of us can work together during the Meet. And these are the ways in which you can, conduct your virtual classes in different variety of ways, and students can be engaged continuously because the teacher is prepared with so many tools in hand, to encourage each one of them to participate well. Then if you look at Google Meet, on top right hand side corner, you can see people. If you click on people, you will get to see who all are there in the presentation. So I have the teacher and the students also, and since I'm presenting, so my presentation mode is also being shown. Then I have the feature of adding the people. So you can say that when the live session is on and suddenly you want to add somebody in your classroom, you can do that by just clicking add people, and you can add and invite the person by entering their email ID. So this is wonderful way of contacting and calling people even outside the domain as well. I can ask anybody to join my Google Meet session. Then on the right hand side, there is a chat option. If I see the chat option, then I can converse with my class over here when my presentation is on and I'm showing my lesson and I'm explaining my lesson. Alongside, the students can unmute and ask as well, but if everyone starts to unmute, then there can be indiscipline like we have in our own physical classrooms. Likewise in virtual classroom as well, that if at all you want, while during the lesson the child feels the need to talk and need to ask a doubt, they can say that by writing it in the chat. So I can also type over here and I can, easily converse with my students, and I click write and then I can post. So my student Sanchita Ghosh is asking, may I ask a question? I can say, go ahead. Okay, so that way a constant communication can happen. I have got a very good feedback from my students saying that clear explanation, loads of features shared, and yes, I'm happy that the students have understood my lesson. So this way we can say that the entire Google Meet live virtual classroom can help the students to learn the things. And before I start giving some kind of a task to my students, let me tell my students something very important. And this should be, best practice done even by the teachers. That when you enter your Google Meet session with your students, before even you start teaching, there are certain norms which they should know. That yes, students, as you have entered into the classroom, first and foremost, keep your microphone off. Second, if you have really a dire need to ask a question, then write it in chat. Otherwise, unless the teacher says, okay, fine, Sanchita, you unmute and ask, unless that happens, do not unmute yourself. Otherwise, that would lead to a lot of indiscipline in the class. But if you want to have a smooth running class, have these norms in place. Then you have camera option. At the beginning of the session, you may, ask the students to show up your faces so that it's good to say hello to each other on a good collaborative, interactive note. But eventually when the lesson starts, then it's advisable that you should keep your camera off, because with camera and all, it actually uses a lot of bandwidth. So in order to save that bandwidth, it's essential that you keep your camera off. Then if you want to have clarity in terms of sound, if you really want to hear the entire lesson properly, then best practice is that you should wear headphones or earphones, like the way I'm using right now. So you wear your earphones if you want to listen in a smooth manner. And yes, do not share any kind of passwords or login IDs with anyone, because this is very essential. In order to enter into a virtual classroom of your teacher, you should have full right to enter. No other person should enter with your login ID and password. And yes, some kind of norms in terms of etiquettes, that yes, be polite, be respectful, have those kinds of things, like, be a real-time teacher in your classroom, wherein you are the leader and you are trying to keep the systems in place, and the students will listen to you and follow your instructions. So these are the things which are very essential over here. But one thing is that in addition to these things, there are certain security features which all the teachers need to know. First and foremost, the teacher who has created the Google Meet, only the teacher can mute or remove other participants. That is one very essential security feature of Google Meet, that you have the right to remove a participant if you do not want that person in your class. Or if you have any kind of an intruder, could be that there is a person who is trying to join your meet, who is outside the domain of your school, then in that scenario, the teacher, the person who is the creator of the video meeting, only will have the right to either approve that person to enter or to deny that person to enter. So that kind of a right is only in hands of the teacher. So this is a very, very important security feature that Google Meet has given us, that helps us, conduct our classes in a safe environment wherein we don't have any outsider who can enter. And if at all, if somebody is trying to enter, then that is only with the permission of the teacher. And then another very beautiful security feature by Google is that if you create a nickname, meaning that if you go on to meet.google.com and they will ask you to create the name, if you create a nickname and use that in your G Suite for Education domain, then no other participant can actually join in. And if at all the class has ended, then after everyone has left out and the teacher says bye and the teacher ends the live session, after that no student can come back. So it's like a virtual classroom wherein only if the teacher allows you to enter, you enter, and only if the teacher says exit, you exit. And once the session is over, the teachers can be, at peace, that no student can rejoin the meeting and have their own personal discussions. So again, these kinds of features are very essential for any kind of a virtual classroom. And this has helped all the teachers of Sanskriti school to, conduct their classes on a regular basis. And we have a chance now to meet our children, in real time, even though in this situation wherein everybody is, is very eager to go to their classroom and, go and start attending the school. But through Google Meet, we are able to meet them virtually and have that feel of connection. So coming to last bit of this entire session, wherein I would like to showcase some innovative methods, because these are best practices of teachers who can help other teachers in bringing in some innovation using Google Meet. You can use Google Meet and you can use that online video meeting in order to conduct your lessons. So first and foremost, you can have lesson delivery. You can use slides, you can show videos, you can, show content in PDF document, you can show NCERT books which are available online. All that material can be presented to the students and the lesson delivery can happen. Secondly is about collaboration, wherein you are getting every child in the classroom engaged in an activity. Because always remember that as a teacher, my focus should not be on technology. My focus should be on pedagogy. My focus should be on the vision for my students. And in that entire vision, I need to know that only unidirectional lesson delivery is not sufficient for a successful class. What is needed in the beginning of the lesson or during the lesson or at the end of the lesson, I need to bring in variety of methods to bring some kind of innovation so that the students are always on their toes to listen to you, follow your instructions, do some activities, do some kind of application on the basics that you've taught. So all those things are very essential in any classroom, even physical or virtual mode. So in virtual mode, Google Meet actually helps us to use a whole lot of Google apps to bring that collaboration. And this collaboration can be done through slides, can be done through a virtual, virtual whiteboard, which is provided in one of these Google apps. That's called Jamboard. So teachers can use this virtual whiteboard to teach during their classes. Then there is a Padlet. There are a whole lot of other apps which are integrated with Google Classroom, and these can be used to bring in collaboration in class. And then you can also remember one thing: you've taught the lesson, but have you assessed the kids? So assessment is very important, and Google Meet helps you to do self-assessment quizzes through using a Google app, which is Google Forms. So if you just get access to this 9-app Google Grid, the entire Google App Grid, then you would realize that so many beautiful, amazing, magical apps are there which can be used to bring in life in these virtual classrooms. And fourth and the last thing, which is very, very interesting, is about gamification. Every child is fond of playing games in the classroom. No one wants to just listen. So for that, you can bring in games. And one interesting app which is there is that of Kahoot. And you can play Kahoot in your classes in order to bring in games. So let's give me a demo of any one of these activities, looking at the time which is there. So in whatever time left in this session, I will showcase a demo of any one of these innovative methods. I will give task to my students, Techno at Heart team, and let's see how my students will attempt their work right in front of you, and let's see how I teach them virtually in front of you. So let's see the demo. So I go to my Google Classroom, I open up classwork. As a teacher, I have created one assignment for my students. It says, insert any one picture of a fruit and describe about it. This is nothing but real-time collaboration in Google Meet. So what I'll do is I'll edit the assignment as a teacher. Now I know that my students are ready in Google Meet, and I need to assign this task to them. I'll give the title, I'll give the instructions, attach my collaborative slides, and very important thing to mention is students can edit file. Editing rights need to be given to my students. And with a hit of a button, I will just give this work, I'll hit assign, and my work will go to the students. Students will see the assignment in their screens immediately. So let's see how Sangeeta Gulati and Sanchita Ghosh complete their work right in front of us. Real-time collaboration. The teacher has given the task, and the teacher can open up this task in front of the students in Google Meet, which is happening right now. And the students can see on their screens how the teacher has given the work, and I can see what they are doing. Let's see. This is the time when students are working, teacher is watching the show. I can see on my collaborative slide, both my students have come and both of them are working on this collaborative work. I can show in grid view to my students and tell them, look students, I'm watching you. So this is how I can see both of them have come up on their respective slides and they are working. They are working together. Oh, wonderful. One of my students have posted picture of watermelon. They've inserted a picture. That's her favorite fruit. Then I can see another student pasting orange. Amazing. They're doing the work in front of me and I'm teaching them. I've told them, okay, fine, this is good that this is your favorite fruit. Now let me know about something. Describe about the fruit that you've chosen. So in real time, they have started working and they will start to describe it as well. So let's see what they do. This way, when they are doing the work, suppose there are 30 students in the classroom and 30 slides are right in front of you, then you can actually see what the child is doing. You can pinpoint and name the person and talk about it. The students can also speak in the Google Meet session. They will also highlight what they are writing on. And this way we can have a collaborative, fun-filled, interactive class using nothing but G Suite for Education account. So that's the key. if you really want to have these interesting classes for you on a daily basis, you should go on for G Suite for Education account and successfully, conduct your classes smoothly, because with every app you click, there are certain interesting features that you would know, and these features can be used for making your teaching learning more effective. So amazing, my students, you have described as well that you love oranges because they are a winter fruit and it's citrus fruit, rich in vitamin C, amazing. And the other student is saying that I love watermelon because it's juicy, sweet, and cool, amazing. So well done, my dear students. And Techno at Heart team, you're always been a great support in, conducting all the demonstrations. So amazing. So coming to Google Classroom innovative methods, which are bringing in some kind of, assessment through Google Forms. These Google Forms can also be created very easily. They are very, very user friendly. Just open up your 9-app grid, and in that grid, you can get access to Google Forms. Start typing in your questions which you want to ask the students. And during the Google Meet session itself, you can test them and you can ask them to attempt. And you can also, check your assignments as well and in real time and give your feedback. Because if you remember in the beginning, I told you in these Google Docs or Google Slides or say Google Sheets, you can give a feedback, you can comment. So you can actually give a real-time feedback to the students through these self-assessed quizzes. And one and last thing that I would like to showcase is the gamification. This is what the students love. Students can, love to play games in a virtual classroom and everybody is engaged. So let me show the one sample video wherein the students are playing a game using Kahoot. You can see there are 55 answers. There's so many, 53. Just
on the
you can hear
of the metro in NCR. It is purely a final investment which is done by the government. So it is nothing but one of the components of GDCF, Gross Domestic Capital Formation. So it is very much included under expenditure method in national income.
So through Kahoot, what we are trying to do is that we just ask a question, all the students answer at the same time during a time span, and we can see how many students answered it correctly and how many students answered it wrong. And then it can be followed up by discussion during the live virtual classroom, and the students can learn each and every concept systematically, but though in a fun way. So that's how we can use Google Meet innovatively, collaborating that with a whole lot of other Google apps, which are so user-friendly. Then you would enjoy and be in love with these Google apps as a teacher. And you would love to have these virtual classrooms more often, because this is how you can interact with your children and in real time. So that's something which, you would all enjoy and love teaching through this platform.
Right. So Ms. Rupali, though we are less in time, but still 1 or 2 minutes left. I'll take a few of the questions because you have got several questions to ask. So the one question, yes. So the question has been asked by Ms. Suhela and Ms. Deepa, and they are asking how many students can join this.
Okay, so based on the latest update by Google, since during these tough COVID-19 pandemic times, Google has given this benefit that till September, we can have the maximum number of 250 participants in a Google Meet. And after September, again, depending upon the situation, Google keeps bringing in new updates. So enjoy it, till the time the Google is giving you this benefit.
Right. Another question has been asked by Miss Archana Pandey and Mr. Malika Arjun, and they both are asking how school organization get approval for G Suite, how much time the entire procedure will take.
Okay, so this is something, in fact, these are the times when many of the schools have signed up for G Suite for Education account, and Google has been really quick in answering, because even Google has been, providing a lot of help in starting this virtual classrooms. And if you apply it online, just on Google, you type that you want to sign up for G Suite for Education account, they will take you to the process on its own. It's automatic process. Keep answering their questions, submit your application, and it will be done quickly by Google.
Okay. Another question has been asked by Mr. Mahinder, Kishore, and Mr. Rakesh. They all are asking only a link is required to be in this meet. Then what about privacy?
Okay. First and foremost, as I told you, the security features, even if the link is given to any XYZ person, and if that person is clicking that link, then who will give the permission to enter? The host, person who has created Google Meet in calendar. So the person who has created the video meeting has full power to deny the person to enter the Google Meet. So it is purely, I would say, safe environment, full of good security features. And I would say that in a classroom environment where students and teachers are, interacting, it is very essential to have these security features which Google has provided.
Right. So today we very well understood about Google Hangout Meet and how to use that in educational pursuit. I hope you all have understood, and if you still have any doubts or suggestions, please do share it through our toll-free numbers or on our official email ID, which is ciet.kishoremunch@gmail.com. Best. Thank you, Ms. Rupali, for sharing and demonstrating such useful tool with us.
You're welcome. I'm privileged. And thank you, Techno at Heart team, for being there for each other.
So now I'm Shilpa signing off. Till then, take care and keep watching Kishore Munch.